Hi,
I'm Mika. This is
Alex.
a little podcast I'm gonna try and do called Iro and Andrew, and I picked those characters because they're two people that I think are worth aspiring to for their sense of like adventurousness, their wisdom, and the fact that everyone is better for having interacted with them. And so, Iro I think is the more not the more famous, but his story is a little bit more well known. Whereas Andrew, after he's an apostle, goes and he travels, and it's generally considered apocrypha some of the stories, but they're very quite action packed. Such as like he goes and he saves Matthias from cannibals, and the way he does it is he gets the Archangel Michael to like build a wall of fire around the village, and then he floods the village with like one of the stone pagans. So it's just a lot of action, and I think it's very adventurous. And the goal for this for me was to talk to people that I think are adventurous and I have a chance to gain wisdom from. And so I thought these were two people who model these ideals well. Yeah. And so I thought you're one of the people who I think are adventurous and have some wisdom to offer that I'm the most comfortable with. So I thought I'd have you go first.
Good criteria. I'm going to ask a question. So what are you hoping that people get out of these conversations?
Like the people watching?
Yeah.
They can go wherever they want. I don't care. This is all for me. This is a very selfish endeavor.
Okay. So what do you hope that you get out of this?
So for one, I would like to meet new people. So one of the things I want to do is that after every guest, I want them to introduce me to someone they think would be a good guest. So I want to meet some interesting people that other people think are adventurous or have some wisdom to offer. And the other thing is to gain some wisdom outside of the wisdom that I've accrued from my life experience or from the people who are generally forcing their wisdom on me.
Okay. So to like hear different perspectives and maybe get some insights that you just wouldn't otherwise be exposed to.
Sure, you can say it that way.
That makes sense. And then it's okay. So we talked a little bit about the comfort part where you're like, okay, this might be I'm someone that you could talk to that you'd be comfortable talking to. Has there been any like wisdom I've shared with you previously that stuck out?
I wouldn't say that there's any wisdom that you've shared previously that has stuck out. I've definitely learned from your experiences, though, for better or for worse. I don't think there's any like pithy saying or like moment where you said a specific thing, but there's like visible wisdom in the difference from how you act now versus how you acted after life has either beaten you up or you've taken on some different roles, right? So then you see the growth, and growth is like a consequence of experience, and wisdom is also another byproduct of that same experience.
Okay. So that actually might help me get there. So I guess, what have you seen as growth? Or what have you seen as change?
That's a good question. So I mean, even compared to like 7 years ago, you're much more of a leader now, and you're much more of an organizer now than you were like 7 years ago. And I've known you for longer than that, but like I don't do any service, but all the service that I do, like one thing that you said is like you generally like to have people go in twos. So if we do the book club together, I wouldn't do the book club if you weren't going to do it. I wouldn't have started this if you wouldn't do the first episode. So like for me, your growth into becoming that kind of person, I don't remember the question, but like that's kind of like I don't think I would say the same 7 years ago, for example.
Yeah. The question was just, so you talked a little bit about like, okay, like what was the idea behind asking me for like some bit of wisdom, right? And the thought process was, there's been some change in your person or character over the time that you've known me that's shown some kind of growth. So then after that I was like, okay, what's the growth been? Like what's the change been? And I think you described like stepping into different leadership roles or And the funny thing is, like, what you focused on to me didn't even sound so much like leadership. It sounded like companionship, where it's like the idea of like, okay, like there was X or Y thing that I wanted to do, and having like that support system to like do it with me or to like help add structure to it is like helpful.
So, yeah, I mean, that's true. So, I mean, the person I think for me embodies leadership really well is my friend Benny, who I'm going to try and convince to come on this later. But, like, um, he was very much an embodiment of this as leadership, this kind of idea. And so I appreciate it a lot when I see it in other people. Because he's the person I learned the most about leadership from, I would say.
Okay.
So, like, I do think that companionship is the kind of leadership, especially when it brings you to places and guides you in places that you wouldn't know what to do in otherwise, right?
That's interesting. Usually, like, because you talked about how like companionship guides, which is like a cool concept, but like in my head, it's like something. The fun part sometimes about companionship isn't that it doesn't always have a direction, right? Like sometimes the nice part of the companionship is like, or maybe like you have a vague direction, and it's not so much that it guides you, but that it's willing to step into kind of the unknown with you, you know?
Sure.
But it's cool because I've never really thought of those things as leadership. But I guess that sometimes it is, right? It's just like taking that first or second step into something that's unknown, either following someone or with someone side by side that like helps give you the courage, basically. Yeah, so it's like companionship. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like, does that track?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's always like the hard part for me was always figuring out like what to do. But a lot of times, like if somebody else has a vague direction, like I'm happy to hop on the wave and see how it goes. It's a fun thing.
So you would say you generally have an easy time doing things when there's a direction to be had?
Yeah, I guess maybe that is one of the differences between like me younger and me older is like in some things I'm starting like at church for example, like I'm starting to see like a direction that I want to go or that I you know, and I want to help other people get there too. So for that was something that like it wasn't. Sorry, your question was asking like not always being able to tell where you want to go?
No, but the whatever line we're just going down, just keep going down it.
Yeah. I'm starting to see lines in different places that I would like to go down, so I'm having an easier time stepping into them. But it's not always the case.
Any specific reason for that?
Yeah. For those, it's mostly been like sometimes you see like a need that you want to fill, right? So it's like, okay, there's a need for like more leadership at church, for example, or something, right? And like I want to encourage that in other people. And in order to encourage that, like sometimes you need like a certain amount of setup or you want to like enable people. I'm a serial enabler, which is kind of what we've been talking about. So I've been organizing stuff out there in order to enable other people to say like, okay, I want to have a voice, I want to have a space, I want to help with X, Y, Z.
So what's your experience been like being a serial enabler?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Cause like it's just like sometimes you can't pick which mountain you want to climb, right? So like the fun thing about being an enabler is like the other person's already figured out the mountain, right? I want to go up this one. I want to start this book club. I want to start this service. I want to go running. Whatever. I'm just like you figure out how to make it happen, you know. So the experience is mostly fun, and then it's like the fun bit of problem solving. Like some problem solving like is like I have to do this thing to survive or because somebody made me or it's like a work thing and I need an income, problem solving. But then sometimes problem solving is a blast. It's like, all right, like this guy doesn't believe in himself, but we're going to see if we can get him where he needs to go.
There's in the Tales of Bossing Say, there's an Iroh quote where he like helps the guy and he's just like, the guy like mugs him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he like tells him his stance is crap, and he like shows him, and then
Yeah.
he's like, "What do you actually want to do?" And he's like, "He wants to be like a masseuse or something," and he's like, "You would be a good masseuse." He's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." So it's always best to believe in oneself. Like a little help from another
Goes a long way.
Yeah.
Something like that. I actually remember that episode. Yeah. There's a Jordan Peterson quote that I like a lot, and he says it with like tears in his eyes. But he talks about how like people need so little encouragement to like kind of get things going, but it's just like we don't even get that, you know? Like you just need just a little. But I think it's a good thing to, if you can help with.
Right. I mean, that's one of the I actually really appreciate about like David Sidkey a lot, where it's just like, if there's anything like even remotely positive in what you have said or what you're suggesting, like, it's like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, let's go do it. Like, or let's whatever. And I think that's one of his traits that I would like to strive to have.
Like finding the positive.
Not
Or,
that's
like,
I wouldn't say
encouraging
find
the
yeah, like
positive.
having that initial positive reaction that like rides the positive momentum of something positive that someone said. If that makes sense. So like having that first reaction of like, oh, you said something good, like yeah, that is good, like, and let's like enforce that in some way.
Yeah, it's just like encouraging the positive thing that somebody's shooting for, or at least the positive part of whatever they're saying.
Yeah. But it helps like to have the immediate reaction. Like if you don't have the immediate reaction, even if you like pause, I think it has a much more muffled effect.
Say that one more time.
Like if I say like, you know, like I want to start running on Sundays.
Yeah.
And you're immediately like, yeah, dude, that's awesome. Like let's like I want to run on Sundays with you. That's your first sentence out of your mouth.
Oh, like
You know,
he's
versus-
not. It's not just encouraging. He's there. Like he's in.
Maybe not, but like he'll just say like, no, that's awesome.
Okay.
Like he might say just that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
But you could also say like, oh, you're gonna run on Sundays? Why Sundays? Oh, that's awesome. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like even that pause I think is not that it's a bad thing, but it muffles like
Oh,
this really
sometimes
positive
you're-
effect that
Yeah.
that I think David usually has.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, good job. You're learning. Have you learned anything from enabling other people?
We don't always realize what's actually possible.
In what way?
Like it's just like sometimes, like it's so funny. Like we see all these, like you know, you see like a famous person or a wildly successful person, and it's like if you talk about like building blocks for people, like it's like we're okay. Most people like just human. That's all it is. Like we're all sort of similar in most things. And there's not necessarily there's fewer differences between like the people that are doing whatever you want to do or whatever you think you can't do than you realize. Does that make any sense?
I mean, for like influencer types, I can see that. For other types, maybe not. Like, I want to dunk like John Morant. That's pretty tough. Man. That's like that might not be in the cards for me.
Some physical stuff is tougher than others, right? That's fair. But it's just like not everything we want to do is physical, you know what I mean? So it's like sure, if like the dunking's a great example. Like I honestly don't think it's impossible for you, but again, like
Well, it's a dunk, sure.
like John Morant.
Yeah.
That's a little different. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. That takes a lot of training and a lot of time, and I don't know how he's got a lot going for him.
Yeah. Maybe I could have picked a less problematic NBA player, but like, well, we're here.
The point is like you like his dunking style. He doesn't have to be like a role model or anything.
Yeah. I don't own any weapons yet.
Hopefully that stays that way. Yeah, but for a lot of like the social stuff or the work stuff, and it's just like a lot of things. Like there's a guy on Instagram I like a lot, and he talks about like if you're bad at something, it usually just means you haven't put enough reps in. You know, like you just haven't You know, like they talk about doing something like mastery happens at 10,000 hours, and I'm starting to read stuff now that says it's like maybe not 100% accurate, but I think we're mostly on the same page that it's just like the amount of time and the amount of reps that you put in, like consciously, like with focus, improves whatever you're working on, you know? So just try the thing. And encourage other people to try the thing.
You're saying that generally more things are possible than the people you're enabling believe. Like you don't think any of them are ever like delusional and they want to do things that they can't do.
I actually approve of a little bit of delusion. You know what I mean? Like
okay, but
I think delusional is only a problem if it's like at the cost of other parts of your life. Like it's just like, okay, I want to be a painter and I have 7 kids and we all need to eat and my paintings are not making any money. You might have to make different decisions. I'm not an expert, but that's the thought process.
They just have to make enough paintings that when they kill themselves, that the value goes up really high, and that will feed the families.
That's a lot to ask for. A lot to hope for? Don't know.
Actually, it's better if they disappear mysteriously. Yeah.
Does that improve the sale cost or the sale price of their painting?
I think so. You want a story, right? Like, I don't know.
This is outside. I don't know enough. I have no idea, but it is funny to think about.
Slightly related. They're selling Bob Ross photos, not paintings now. But
like photos of the guy?
No. So paintings that he painted.
Oh.
They've been storing them for years, and then now because of the cuts to public programming, they're selling them so that they can raise money for the public programming.
Oh, he'd probably approve of that. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, they're out of my price range, but it was cool. I've always wanted one. I'll get a replica someday.
Yeah, or maybe there'll be like a resale or something.
I don't think anyone's gonna spend $1 million on a Bob Ross painting and then resell it for like.
I did not know they were going for that much. Yeah, that's a lot.
The first 2, I think, were like $100K, and then now they're
way higher.
Yeah.
Wow.
100K would have also been hard to swim for.
Not at my price range, too.
But there's no one you've tried to enable that like they were just trying to do something like impossible. Actually, do these people come to you and are like, I need enabling? Or what are you just finding people on this?
I'm not finding people on the street. It's just like the people you know already. Like most people have stuff they want to do, right? Or sometimes it's just like I'll give you an example. Like we had a buddy that switched. Like he was pre-med, wanted to be a doctor, and then he switched to computer science, right? And I feel like everybody that he talked to was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this, and whatever," right? And I think I was like one of the few people that just like listened to like what his thought process was on the whole thing. And then at the end of it, I was like, okay, like that all makes sense to me. Like, good luck. Like, I hope it goes your way. I think that helped him. Like, it's just at least one other opinion that's like, oh, somebody sees what I'm trying to do that doesn't think I'm nuts. He's doing great now, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, like sometimes, I don't know I think in my head that counts a little bit. Like, that is sort of enabling. Maybe encouraging is a better word for it. Because enabling is like you're actually helping them do the thing. I did not help him on his journey. I just didn't make him feel bad about it.
I hope he wrote positively about you in his journal that night.
I have no idea if he keeps one. Yeah, no, there's definitely such thing as bad enabling though. Like sometimes like you know, like you have the friends that are too supportive, but like they're like making a bad decision. I don't know. The best example I can think of is like sometimes your friends date people that they don't make a lot of sense, and then their other friends are like, "Yeah, congrats! Like we're so happy for you," and we're like, "Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be that happy for them." So I think there is such thing as bad enabling.
Sure. But I'm mostly curious about, I mean, that's fine. I think we've spoken about that before. I don't. But I'm curious, like, so there's no one who is just like, I'm going to be the bishop the diocese, like, or like someone who had a goal that was like that you genuinely thought was not realistic, and you were just like, yeah, go for it. Like, yeah, do this thing that I don't think you can do.
I mean, not that I can think of.
Everyone just has realistic goals, and they just need you to kick them in the butt.
A lot of the times it's like little stuff. It doesn't always, I guess it doesn't have to always be dreams or anything like that. But sometimes it's just like, oh, like I want to do, I wish I had a better example. I can't think of one. Sometimes it's just like a day trip. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to go check this thing out. Or I want to go visit this place. Or I want to hang out on this day with these people. It's like stuff like that sometimes just needs like a little bit of help organizing, and you're like on your way, dude. It's not that complicated. But sometimes like our threshold for movement's just very low, you know? Give you a silly example. Sometimes my Sunday school kids are like, I want to go to Six Flags, right? And it's totally feasible. It's not that complicated. Like, it's an hour and a half, right? But they're like, all right, we want to bring everybody, whatever. And it's like, okay, like, we'll just like make a big list, send a sign up. Everything's going to be fine. Figure it out. Then you do it and it's fine. That's it. Like, it's just, but it's still kind of enabling.
It is enabling, sure.
Yeah. Trying to think of bigger stuff, but if I think of anything, I'll let you know.
But you've done a lot of other service other than enabling, I'm sure.
Sure.
Is there anything that you learned from any of that?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing I've learned in service is that there's another person that I work with in service, and he makes me laugh because, like, sometimes he'll make us. Yeah, I actually see it in a lot of different places, not just him. But sometimes somebody will like make a suggestion for like, hey, we want to do this thing, or we want to add this this service. And sometimes like I literally look at them like, I have no idea what you're thinking. This makes no sense to me. This is nuts. And I think that's where like God works, because it's like, I've started to learn to just say okay. Like in Arabic, you say hadir, which is just like, I'm gonna follow along. Like, okay,
Yeah,
your will, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, there's a good way of translating it, but so like I'll just be like, all right, whatever, I'm just gonna try it and see how it goes. And then you try it and it shouldn't work out. Like nobody should go, or it shouldn't actually help anybody, or it just doesn't make sense on paper. And then it goes and it's like, nope, that was exactly what needed to happen. These people got a bunch of benefit. Glory be to God. So yeah, I think the biggest thing actually I've learned from service is like things don't always go the way I expect them to, and you really have to like let the Spirit work. Like if you put yourself too much into it, like what needs to happen is not gonna happen the way it needs to.
Well, do you have an example of it, of the negative on that?
Like there are times where like they'll make a suggestion and I'll want to stop it. I'll be like, no, we shouldn't do that. But because it's like one of those things, like I think the key thing in being a servant is like being centered in God, right? So it's like the idea of like abide in Christ and He will abide in you. And I think for the people, like you, every once in a while, like you luck out and you work with people or you serve with people that are like really trying for that. And it's like, I trust that over my own sense most of the time. So it's like, okay, I don't see the vision. I don't know if this makes sense. I definitely don't want to do what they're telling me to do. But I trust that because they're doing their best to abide in Christ, I'm going to trust the process and see how it goes. I know that wasn't an example, but I didn't have a specific one I wanted to go over.
Fair enough. The ones of viewers will be very disappointed.
The ones of mine?
The ones of viewers. You know, like you say, tens of or hundreds of the ones.
I think I understand what you're saying.
It's okay.
I think I got it.
He gets it too. This morning I was reading the Acts of Andrew and Matthias, or Matthias and Andrew. Like that's what the book is called, or like the letter. And so in it, like, so basically what happens is Matthias gets captured, and they basically, what they do is the cannibals, they gouge your eyes out, and then they poison, like they give you like a hallucinogenic or something, some drug, and then they leave you in the prison cell for like 30 days, and then they eat you. They have like this 30-day thing to do. So like on the 27th day, God tells Andrew, like, you got 3 days to like hightail it to like this village, and Andrew's like, okay, then like send an angel to carry me over there, because like I'm not gonna get there in 3 days. And God's like, like, who obeys who here? It's not exactly the quote. Maybe it would be. Maybe I'll find the quote, but like it's like, you obey him who made like heaven and earth, not the other way around. So it's like, you're gonna go get your butt on a boat.
Yeah, it's not about your sense, my good sir. You need to move.
Yeah, so he's like, all right, I don't know how I'm gonna get there in 3 days, but like, you go to a boat.
Did they gouge his eyes out?
They gouged Matthias' eyes out, and then like Christ came and restored his vision. But he just like walked around with his eyes closed so that they wouldn't think that he.
Oh, they wouldn't know. That's pretty cool.
But he was just like, can I at least see what's gonna happen to me? That's what he said. He was like, listen, like, I know you don't owe me nothing, but like, if I'm gonna get eaten alive, I'd like to see it coming.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
But so he's in the prison cell, and like the drugs don't affect him.
Okay.
So he's just singing in prison for a month.
Both of them, or just Andrew?
Just Matthias.
Oh, just Matthias.
So Andrew's being sent to save him.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry, I don't know.
I got it now.
So Andrew gets on a boat, and he basically he's about to get on a boat, and then the guy's like, all right, yeah, but we're going to that village anyways. And he's like, okay, cool, just so you know, like, we don't have any food to sustain ourselves, and we have no money to pay you, because like, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ told me like to take no knapsack or money bag or anything with me. And he said, oh cool, you like Jesus? I like Jesus, like, get on the boat. And he's like okay, cool. And so they tell you right away in the letter that the captain of the ship is just Jesus, just like cosplaying.
Wow.
So he keeps asking Andrew about Jesus, and Andrew's like, this is awesome, like, this is great, like, this is like the coolest thing ever, like. And then like when they go to sleep, they just like teleport the boat over. But you know how it is. Yeah, they had to get there in 3 days, man.
Okay.
I have no idea where he was in the beginning.
That's fine.
And I think it's just man-eater village in Africa. So.
Okay. Like indescript location.
Yeah. It's where you live. One viewer.
Nice. Fourth wall.
But I like, from Andrew's perspective, this pilot, the captain of the boat, is like this very, like, from his perspective in the story, like the way you hear him like view it, the pilot who is Jesus reminds me of how you're describing like these servants. Like that's more about like, it's more Christ-centered and letting God do the work. And so Andrew like hears that, and he appreciates that, and he answers like all the questions he can about Jesus, and he even says like secret miracles that like weren't like in other gospels or which is probably why this is an apocrypha, because I'm not sure the church accepted the miracles that he said that Jesus did. Yeah, but like the way that Andrew is excited about working with Jesus, who was, or like the captain of the ship, reminds me of this that you're saying.
Yeah, and it's also like there's an element of just like going even though you don't know how it's gonna go.
Right.
Like that same stepping out into the unknown that we talked about.
Yeah. I mean, he has the benefit of him saying like literally like, okay, like, well, let's do the short thing, and then God literally just saying in quotes like da 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 da, get on the boat.
Yeah. Like there's an element of certainty there.
Yeah.
Or I guess certainty on the direction at least.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure he's also certain that he's going to save Matthias because God also directly tells him like, you're going to go save Matthias.
Hmm. Yeah, it's funny, like all the things that we learn in life, like somebody else learned before we did, you know? It's just like it's an example for everything.
One time I was in the Carmel with James, and we were just in the church, and like we were just finishing up there, and I remember like just looking at all the icons on all the things, and I was just like, the church has been around for thousands of years, and there are thousands of saints. Like that's like a million years of experience. I've experienced like everything. Just like wish I could, like I just wish they would just tell me plainly what they learned instead of making me learn it on my own.
Maybe that's the whole idea behind intercession. Like just ask them in your prayers. Like
Bro,
how do I do this thing? What does this mean?
I've never had the gall to be like, like there was a Greek Orthodox priest who came when Abercrombie was here, and he was saying that like he asked for people to like appear to him, and they did. Yeah, I've never done that. I don't even want to. Like, I feel like.
Am I really gonna take time out of St. George's Day to come talk to me?
That's very humble of you. For me, it's like there's like a terror aspect to it. Like,
what is this guy gonna say to me?
What's he gonna say to me? What's he gonna do? What's it gonna look like? What's the experience gonna be like? How am I gonna? I'm gonna have to change my life.
You were talking about like how terrifying it would be if you asked like one of those people to appear to you. Like, what are they gonna look like? What are they gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Also, I don't know if you've ever heard like the stories of like demons like appearing as saints or angels or whatever, and then just saying whatever, and like don't need to invite that risk in my life.
Like you ask for St. George and somebody else comes instead. It's kind of scary to think about. Intercession's a cool thing, but I can't imagine. Did the Greek? You said the Greek priest.
Yeah.
Did he talk about what he wanted from them when they got there? Because he calling them to ask questions, or
I think it was like when he was a kid, he was like. So he mentioned 2 separate times. He didn't really get into too many details. I think when he was a kid, he wanted to see like a saint, like I don't know if it was like for proof or something. And then another time he wanted to like go up to a mountain and like be spoken to like Elijah was spoken to.
And he was?
I think that's what he implied.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's why I wish James was there for that, but he wasn't.
For the mountain one?
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Yeah, that would have been hilarious. I don't know. For me, I don't know. The appearing thing is kind of interesting. The reason, so I thought of like, okay, what would it be like to ask them? This then you're taking time out of their day, which doesn't really make sense in the metaphysics of it because I don't know what their day looks like. But like I ask God for silly stuff all the time, like, hey, can you help me park? Or hey, can you help me find my keys? Or hey, I can't find my wallet. Like, can you help me look for it? So sometimes it's funny to think about like taking time out of God's day for stuff too. It's like, all right, the Lord of creation is gonna stop and help you find your keys.
Well, I mean, I like the conclusion of every hour and the way where like it's just like part of it is just like give us like ease of life. Like, and I'm sure they're talking about the fact that their lives all had hardship and stuff when they wrote the Igbeya, and like to them we have very easy life, but like I'm also praying for ease in my life, and it's one of the chapters I like in the Screwtape Letters talks about how like when you're praying for people, like you don't necessarily want to pray for like like their spirituality or something, or like their moral character, because then you like can get judgmental. But like pray for your mom's arthritis, you pray for your mom's like health, and like her day-to-day stuff and her actual life.
Yeah.
And parking's part of that. Like, or their anger management from parking.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of that, but definitely help trying to find it. All right, so maybe I won't feel bad about asking. That's a good thing. Is there anything else that you're hoping I impart here?
Well, now that we had the conversation, is there anything that you want to say?
I think enabling was a good. Maybe that's something like that. I don't know if that's necessarily wisdom, but I think that is something it's good to encourage people around you. It takes very little, and I think a lot of things are more achievable than we realize.
So do you have an enabling tip? Or like, maybe not tip, but like, do you have a specific action that you do that you think like generally helps you enable people?
Yeah, I mean, I probably talked about it earlier too, so if I'm repeating myself, forgive me. But my thought process is like really listen when people talk to you about what they want to do. Because I think like the other part of it is encouragement, right? It's like, or like, it's somewhere between encouraging and like kind of nudging them in the right direction. And I think in order to do that, you have to really hear what they're saying. Because sometimes like somebody will say like, oh, I want to like climb a mountain, right? And then like if you talk to them about their plan or whatever, and then they're like nervous about this part of it, you can kind of be like, okay, like I think you can try this thing, and that might help you in the right direction. Or like, hey, this is awesome, whatever. But sometimes like I think it lands more like when you've really thought about what they're saying and you've like listened and you've really considered it. Whereas like if you just give somebody like if somebody's talking to you about something they want to do and they just gave like a very brief overview and you're like overly encouraging, I don't know if it lands the same. It's still nice. It's not a bad thing. But I think enabling is probably done better if you really sit and consider what they're talking about.
That sounds like it's going to take a lot of time and patience.
Yeah, it doesn't. If you're not into it, you don't have to do it. But is there anybody in your life you'd like to enable? You don't have to mention names or anything, but
Oh, I was just thinking there's probably people I'd rather disable.
oh, that's funny. Like I wish I could slow them down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it in the reverse. Like do a really good job of listening to them and then discourage them at every stage.
I also feel like generally like most people that I interact with on a regular basis do what they want. Like they're already doing what they want, yeah.
That's great.
I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know what everyone's hopes and dreams. Maybe I haven't been listening. Yeah.
Or it's just something like I think the older you get, the less you talk about hopes and dreams. To be honest with you, is there anything that like you wish people were enabling you for?
Yeah, I mean plenty, but
Yeah. So maybe the other half of maybe the useful part for you isn't how to enable other people. It's like how to ask people to enable you, and then have them actually do the thing.
I think we've talked about this a little bit before. Yeah, so that's. I mean, I don't have anything else for you. I think it's also been it's been about 40 minutes.
Oh wow, that's
So I
fun.
think that's enough for 2 episodes.
Okay, cool. I think you wanted someone to talk to next.
Yeah. Well, I want it recorded so that they know that they were your first choice.
So good to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a buddy named Srujan.
Yeah.
Vajram is his last name. He is a riot, and I think he would be very on board for this school of Iro/Andrew concept. So that would be my recommendation. I think it would be a fun conversation for both of you.
All right. Put me in a group chat with them.
I'll figure it out.
What, is it off the grid or something?
No. I just like we'll get it. We'll make it happen. Enabling.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm like 15% sure I have his phone number.
Might be easier then. All right. Do you have any closing thoughts?
I should come up with like a closing catchphrase.
Like a spiel or something.
Yeah, a spiel.
Just like, I don't know. Yeah, think of something. You could probably find a good Iro quote to wrap it up with.
Yeah, I was gonna pick a Mikaism, but like I only have two off the top of my head.
What are the two?
Let's go. Or whatever.
I
And
think
neither of those really make sense.
Let's Go should be your opener, and then whatever should be like, please subscribe to Mika's whatever, and then end the episode.
I don't even want people to subscribe. They're friends with some whatever one that they're in, and then we'll call it a day.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Signing off. Thanks.
Yeah. See you later or whatever.